Dugout Chatter is the most obscure, entertaining, and informative baseball channel yet. Brought to you by McKay Giffen and Jacob Williams. Welcome to the Dugout.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dugout Chatter. I'm McKay Giffen.
And I'm Jacob Williams.
So, guys, we had a huge All-Star weekend, and our last video was our MLB 2019 Home Run Derby predictions, and we got a lot of views, a lot of new subscribers. Thank you all for watching, and those of you who subscribed. If you're new here, welcome to the Dugout Chatter family. And Jacob, so anything to say about your All-Star Home Run Derby bracket?
Yeah, my Home Run Derby bracket was basically horrible. All of the people that I picked to move on in the first round lost. The only guy that, I picked that, I wouldn't say you could count it against me was I picked Yelich, and he didn't even participate. But other than that,
I think Vladdy still would have beat him.
Yeah, but yes, I picked Santana to go past Alonso. I picked Bax. We both picked Bregman to move on, and then I also picked, besides Yelich, I picked Josh Bell to move on, and he was my champion, and all of them lost in the first round, unfortunately.
Yeah, my final two picks was Vlad against Pete Alonso. We all know Pete Alonso won. All right, Jacob, if you're done harping on the past, lead us off with our fact of the day.
All right, guys, so the fact of the day today, July 12th in 1949, was the first ever All-Star game played with African-American players. And the game was played at Ebbets Field. Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, and Don Newcombe represented the National League in an 11-7 loss to Larry Doby and his American League teammates. And just so you guys know, this past All-Star in 2019 was the 90th anniversary of the All-Star game. And then in 49, today, July 12th, was the first All-Star game that So that's today's fact of the day.
It's a very cool fact. Saw a lot of infamous players such as Jackie Robinson in there. And like he just said, today, the date of filming is July 12th. And shout out, happy birthday to my puppy Kismet. And so what we're going to lead off to in our next segment, we're going to highlight the Home Run Derby and All-Star Game and some of our favorite moments from each respectively. So to start off with mine, my favorite part of the Home Run Derby, it was so cool watching Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Jock Peterson slug it out going into swing-offs in overtime. And then Vlad just lasting because he had some big rounds, 29 home runs and 29 home runs. He ended up hitting 40 in round two when he went off against Pete Alonso. So, Jacob, what's your favorite takeaway from this year's Home Run Derby?
So my favorite takeaway from this year's Home Run Derby is, I guess you could say how much it meant to some of the players, like Vlad Guerrero Jr., just how much energy, and like you said, Jock Peterson. It seemed like a lot more this year. I know everybody, when they compete, they want to win, but, having that $1 million prize and seeing
and a lot of these guys were making about $500,000 this year, so that money meant a lot to them.
Yep, and then also seeing it was cool seeing two rookies competed out in the finals, and just seeing how the Home Run Derby has come such a long way, and it's a lot more interesting, and a lot more people pay attention to it. And I just, the care for the Home Run Derby and just how far the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, I mean, these guys wanted to win. It was very exciting and fun to watch. The All-Star Game this year was really cool. We had nice homages to Carlos Carrasco, who was sadly just diagnosed with leukemia. Mm-hmm. When they did the Stand Up to Cancer, all the players represented him. Very cool moment there. There was a moment of silence for Tyler Skaggs. And probably my personal favorite moment was that we saw Tommy La Stella and Mike Trout wear number 45 in honor of their late teammate. I just thought that was really cool, just a very cool, simple moment for me, just watching them wear their teammate's number.
Yep. And then for me, my favorite moment probably had to be, besides that, is Shane Bieber, the hometown hero, being named the All-Star MVP. And he's only the third player to win All-Star Game MVP in his home ballpark. The other two was Sandy Alomar in 1997, and he won the MVP. He played for the Indians the last time the All-Star Game was held in Cleveland in 1997. Pedro Martinez, Boston Red Sox pitcher in 1999. So it was cool seeing like a little bit of history, talking about this is the 90th time we've played this Midsummer Classic All-Star Game, and only the third time from the home. So it was cool to see that. So that was probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, and they did some interesting stuff with the All-Star Game. Like, we saw players mic'd up. I thought that was a lot of fun. I like how MLB's going with this motto of let the kids play. We just get to see guys, like, because baseball started off as a gentleman's game, and then I feel like everyone was just so uptight. Oh, you got to be played this way, that way. Like, it's nice to see some acceptance come of letting personality shine. No, we're not trying to show you up. We're trying to be us and have fun with the game.
All right, now, McKay, we're going to go into McKay's favorite segment, the Roast of the Week. So, McKay, what's your Roast of the Week?
It's pretty obvious. It's the National League for this week's Roast of the Week. Not only did you lose this year's All-Star game, that is the 7th straight All-Star game you have lost. The American League is better than you, especially coming off last year's World Series. Sadly, it had to be Boston, but we beat you in that. We take home field advantage, but that's not a thing anymore. We beat the National League 7 years straight, 4-3 victory.
And another cool statistic, McKay, is the American League has beaten the National League in All-Star games 19 out of the last 22 years.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just basically pure dominance.
Yeah, and that brings the American League to a record of 45-43 with 2 ties. So that's my Roast of the Week. National League, start picking it up because you're falling behind and you're really going to have to count on those 2 ties.
Yeah.
All
right. So now we're going to go to, now that we're on All-Star game break.
The official halfway point of the season. Because let's not make it game 81. Let's make it when we put the All-Star game in.
Yep. So now we're going to go, and based on the first half, we're going to make our predictions. What is Dugout Chatter's playoff pitcher? So we're going to go one at a time, talk about our division winners. So, McKay, I'm going to go with you first. This one might be a little bit simple. Who's your American League East division winner?
Before we jump into that real quick, we also did our preseason predictions on this. Link to that video in the description below. Now at the halfway point, I'm going to stick with my boys in the AL East, the New York Yankees. Injuries don't mean a thing. Guys are coming back. They've been hotter than ever. I have them winning the American League East.
I probably have to agree with you, McKay. I think they're just loaded, stacked.
They're running away from the Rays right now.
So I'd agree with you. I think the New York Yankees are going to take the American League East.
We're going to win a title for the first time in a while, boys. All right, Jacob, who do you have with the American League Central?
American League Central, I know they're in second place and they're 5.5 games back, but I have to go with the Indians. I just think that they've been there, they've done that, they know how to get the job done. They know, how to last a 162-game season with not having a great start and being able to go and get that division. I think they're going to win the division.
I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction as well, the Minnesota Twins. And we look at them a couple years back, they made the postseason, but now a lot of these guys are just coming into their own. And they've been holding around the best record in baseball for a while now. I see the Twins outslugging the Indians. So, Cleveland, you missed your playoff window. It's the Twins' turn. Stop sucking.
All right, and now we're going to move to the American League West. I think this is another easier division to pick. I have the Houston Astros, my preseason pick. McKay.
And mine as well. I mean, like we said at the beginning of the year, name names all day. These guys, they're still really young. They got their core to build around. Justin Verlander, he's honestly the best he's been in his entire career at age 36. So who only knows the advice you can give to those younger players?
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so now shifting our attention to the National League. McKay, who is your National League East division winner?
National League East, again, sticking to my preseason prediction. They're looking pretty good for me at this point in my preseason. I'm sticking with the Braves, just young, really good talent. They made the playoffs last year. You got your core and Acuna and Ozzie Albies. They've been better than ever. So, again, I just see them repeating with a division win. The stiffest competition they've had is the Nationals, and they still haven't been that great. They, again, are another team that missed their window.
Yeah, for me, I kind of looked pretty silly in my preseason prediction.
You picked the Mets!
I picked the Mets. I was on the Mets train, but now in my eyes, I'm seeing a little bit more clearly now, and I'm going to have to agree with you. I think the Braves, I just think top to bottom, they're just the more complete team of any team in that division.
But
they don't have the bullpen issues that the Nationals
To be
do.
fair to you, the Mets looked pretty good at the beginning of the year, but they look like the Mets now.
Yeah.
So let's take it over to the National League Central. Again, I'm going to stick to my guns here. I see the Brewers coming out of full force. When you got a guy like Christian Yelich, that's just who everyone can rally around. Their bullpen's been great. They got Hader and Jeffers still doing a solid job. If they can just, it's kind of like the Yankees formula. Let's throw it over to the bullpen. Let's get it closed down and we'll score runs.
Absolutely. The only thing that I'd probably have to say about that, McKay, is they're only a half game back in the division. They're 3 games above 500.
It's still anyone's division.
But they're one of the few teams that have a winning record that have a negative run differential. Their run differential is minus 17 compared to they're only a half game back of the Cubs, and the Cubs' run differential is 55. That is a 67 run differential.
They beat out the Cubs last year, though.
I know. And with that saying, I think the Cubs are going to, as tough as it's for me to say being a Cardinals fan, kind of, I have to pick the Cubs. I think they're going to win the division.
Yeah.
And McKay, so now that we're done with the Central, who do you have in the National League West to wrap up our division winners?
Well, I look silly as well. I was getting a little bit cocky. I was feeling good about the Rockies. Yes, they've been playing better, but I think you got to give it to the Dodgers. I mean, they've just been playing like they're a force to be reckoned with. They want to get to the postseason again in the World Series so they can disappoint everybody a third time's the charm.
They have the best record in Major League Baseball. They're the only team with 60 wins. I picked them in preseason, and I'm going to continue to be with them. Dodgers, division winners.
So now that we finished up our National League division winners, we're going to go back to our American League wildcard slots. So Jacob, who do you have being the home team in the wildcard game, and who do you have being the road team?
I have the home team in the wildcard game at Tropicana Field, so it's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays. And then I have the visiting team being the Minnesota Twins, so I have a Rays-Twins wildcard game.
And mine's a little bit inverted from yours in the sense that I'm going Indians being in the wild card game and the Twins winning the Central. So I have it at Tropicana against the Indians.
And for me, now that we're shifting to the National League, I think the National League's kind of a little bit more blurry.
Yeah.
On teams that are going to be in the wild card. So if I had to go and pick wild card right now, I'd probably have to say the Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. So I'd probably have to say wild card game at Busch Stadium, and Philadelphia Phillies are the visiting team. So Phillies, Cardinals, wild card game.
So for my National League wild card, it will also be at Busch Stadium. But I'm going with the Reds as the road team because when you look at the National League Central, everyone's within about a 4 or 5 game span. So everyone's going to be fighting their hearts out from the top of the division. So I see 3 teams in the National League Central making the postseason. You have the Cardinals versus the Reds at Busch Stadium.
So you don't have the Cubs making the playoffs at all?
Nah, like I said at the beginning of the year, they suck. Chris Bryant, I hate his swing. Fly ball practice. Get that out of here, man. Come on.
You heard it here first from McKay. Cubs aren't making the playoffs.
I am sticking to it. I just don't get me started on the Cubs. I think their team is just not balanced, and I wish the curse was still going on because it was fun to watch. All right, and
they're leading their division, McKay. 55
it's
runs
within
differential positive.
It's within games.
All right.
Your home run bracket is terrible.
No, I can't say a lot.
All right, before we sign off, our last segment, it's a question to you as well, to us. Pete Alonso, he had us coming out party, officially winning the home run derby. And one big question is, do you think he will break Aaron Judge's home run rookie record? He's at 30 right now. So Jacob, what do you think off of that? Do you think, obviously he's within it, but do you think yes or no, he'll break it?
I think it's going to be tough. I think Judge, just the way his height is and the way his size is, with him playing at Yankee Stadium, he could just go and there would be some balls that in a lot of stadiums would be fly balls that he would just strengthen out. I think people in the second half are going to start circling Peter Alonso in that lineup because the Mets don't have a lot of protection for him. His home ballpark, Citi Field, is a tough stadium to hit out. So if I had to go with an answer, I love Pete Alonso. I'm a Gators fan. He went to the University of Florida, but I'm going to have to probably say no.
I'm going to neglect him as well because I don't want him to break the record.
So, being a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all the time we have for today, guys. Make sure to subscribe, hit that red subscribe button. Make sure to like the video. It's the best way to support our channel. And make sure you follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Dugout Chatter, and then Instagram, dugout.chatter. Anything you want to say, McKay?
Also, hit the bell. Leave comments down below what you think on our picks for the postseason. Who's your postseason picks? What do you think of Pete Alonso this year? And again, thank you guys for getting us over 500 views on the Home Run Derby video. And welcome to the new subscribers of the Dugout Chatter family. And that's all we got for you today. And as always, see you in the dugout.
That's right. Have a great day, guys.
What was that decision like as a kid? What kind of made you decide at that early of an age that you'd want to come play baseball in the United States from Bermuda?
So I always had a dream as a little kid back home in Bermuda to play pro ball one day.